Hi, survivors. It's me, Represent, reporting to you. Hope you guys are doing well because what's going on in this world is not. Now, the antics continue with these people, and they're targeting, allegedly, everything I'm saying is allegedly. Let's go on to get that out the way. Um, Targeting the food supply. And it's being done on purpose. This is my perspective. This is how I feel, and everybody's talking about this Asian bird flu. Um, they're not gonna stop. I'm telling y'all this here right now. They're not gonna stop. They're gonna continue and continue to do ugly things. It's our job and our duties to inform one another, like this community always does, and to be there for one another, prepare for things. Um, I feel like this bird flu is going to really truly affect the poor and middle class, especially the poor. Well, it's going to affect all of us, but I say the poor because a lot of poor people, most poor people eat chicken. It's always been an economically feasible uh, uh, meat to eat. It's chicken is really cheap. Well, it was, and a lot of people are not going to be able to eat it now because of what's going on. Honestly, you guys, to be honest with you, since the beginning of this pandemic, allegedly, a lot of meats we should be refraining from eating that, because if you hear about the stories from back overseas in China, a lot of those meats were contaminated, and allegedly this whole thing with that illness came from meat, came from some animal. So we gonna have to just be careful. I feel like if you're not raising these animals yourself, and you're not butchering them and cleaning them and whatnot, I wouldn't really consume meat right now. A lot of meat. I know it's hard saying something like that. I mean, as far as doing something like that, because it's protein. It's high. It's high in protein. But there's other sources that's high in protein. You got a lot of vegetables that's high in protein as well. But if you get it from the system, from these markets, you need to be careful. Now, I pulled up this article about it, so we will be a little bit more knowledgeable about this, and we'll take precautions. And this is important to talk about it because we have children. In our lives, we don't want to contaminate our children with this nonsense foolishness. It says avian flu may be the next pandemic. It is not if it is going to happen, it is when and where and how bad, said Dr. Michael Osterholm at the first meeting sponsored by the Wilson Center's new Global Health Initiative. Video and PowerPoint presentation is also available. It says a deadly influenza outbreak may be on the horizon. Since 1997, a strand of avian flu known as H5N1 has spread rapidly among birds in East Asia, reaching as far north as Siberia. If this strain, which has killed 55% of its known human victims, mutates into a virus easily transmitted by people, the resultant pandemic could kill millions and would have staggering global social and economic impacts. It is not if it is going to happen, it is when and where and how bad, said Dr. Michael Osterholm at the first meeting sponsored by the Wilson Center's new Global Health Initiative on September 19th. Welcome to my nightmare, warned Helen Branswell, a Canadian medical reporter, speaking at the conference. They go on to talk about this influenza. It says this initiative's first event, emerging pandemic, cost and consequences of an avian influenza outbreak, featured panelist Michael Osterholm, director of the Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy and associate director of the Department of Homeland Security's National Center for Food Protection and Defense, and Helen Branswell, a medical writer for the Canadian Press Agency. Also, home focus on gaps and best practices for addressing a flu crisis in the United States and in global policymaking. Branswell, who has been covering the avian flu epidemic for the last 18 months, drew on her experience covering the SARS virus to explore the potential impacts of an avian flu outbreak in the United States and Canada. So, we're going to have to take precautions, y'all. I just think, I've been learning through fasting. This is the month of Ramadan. And a lot of our Muslim brothers and sisters, this is the time when they fast. I already talked to you guys about it. From early in the morning when the sun rises to the evening when the sun sets. So a lot of us are fasting right now. You guys, I don't claim religions. I do believe in God, and I do practice the Ramadan every single year because I feel like it's really healthy for our minds and bodies, and it's a time of healing and fasting. But I went into the fasting because it's important for us not to consume this food, a lot of this food in these markets. That's first of all. It's very, very, very important, y'all. Since the beginning of this pandemic, there has been a global agenda to wipe out the masses, allegedly. But that's exactly what's going on. And they're using food to do it. Food is one of the ways in order for them to do it. That's why we're hearing about famines, food shortages, different things going on with food, even different things going on with the baby formula. People can't even find formula for their babies. It all goes back to us depending on ourselves. This could be a blessing in disguise. Sometimes we think bad things are just extremely bad, but it might be a reason for us to not depend on these people, not depend on their nasty, ugly system, and depend on ourselves. It just dawned on me since the beginning of all this stuff, right? Like how much we really depend. I'm going to say myself. I'm going to talk about myself. How much I have been dependent on the system. And I started thinking about the days of me and my upbringing. My grandparents raised me for like, I'll say 10 years of my young years before I left home at 13. I've been taking care of myself since then. But I was like, for them to have been, country people, ex-slaves, very independent, very successful people. I mean, I come from a family of very successful people. Real estate moguls, lawyers, very intelligent people. My grandfather, he was self-made. He dropped out of school, I think, 8th grade. The man went on to be one of the richest black men and most successful black men in Houston, Texas. But I was wondering, I was like, why they didn't teach us like how to be totally independent? But really, he did, because he had a garden in the back. He didn't really go to the market to buy a lot of food. He just didn't verbally tell us this here, but his actions showed that. He never depended on the government. You would think a black man in America with 14 children and raising me would be getting some kind of welfare or assistance. He never trusted the government. He never looked for handouts. We always had a garden in the back. We lived on a block where there were nothing but fruit trees. My neighbor, who was also my godmother, she had a peach tree. The peaches was always falling in our yard and in her yard. And she didn't mind us eating this, but she would always tell us, y'all ask before y'all just take my peaches. Then we had a pecan tree in our yard. Then we would always have wild onions growing up in our yard. Then we had a tree that produced blueberries. Was it blueberries? Or we had blueberries on vines. Now I think about it. But my grandfather never did shop in the market. We really didn't eat nothing but beans and rice. I'm being honest with you. And then occasionally on church events, like church anniversaries and things of that nature, he we'll probably splurge on a little food, go to church's chicken or something like that. But you know, the missionaries at the church would always make these big, huge meals, and we'll take them back, and they'll give us a lot of food to eat for days. But other than that, they didn't shop at the markets, you know. But I was wondering, like, even in schools, they don't teach you how to be self-reliant, how to grow your own fruits and vegetables, you know, how to raise your own animals. And then you have jurisdictions, especially in these cities and now a lot in these rural areas, where they won't even let you have a garden. See, the system wants us to totally depend on them so they could do what they're doing to us now. They want total control of our lives and our money and everything so they can do exactly what they're doing to us now. And that's wipe us out, allegedly. So I think that with a lot of these problems that plague our communities that plague our societies, you know, with these powers that be, allegedly, it goes back to being just totally self-reliant. We can't depend on them, y'all. We really never could. We really never should. It's evil people, you know. And all this stuff is done on purpose. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can sit up here and believe what you want to believe. You know, a lot of people still don't see what's going on. I just thank God for the spirit of discernment. And I'm so grateful to be knowledgeable and to be able to know and identify who my enemy is. And I don't care who they put up in these positions of power and whatnot. It's an agenda. It's a global agenda. And we already know what the plans for the agenda is. Now they're coming out also, y'all, with this new illness. Everybody getting sick from the illness again, huh? Y'all be careful. We ain't already talked about that on this channel. And if you want to know how I feel about all you gotta do is go back to my videos. I pretty much feel the same way. I've been feeling. You know. Y'all be careful. And just like y'all president said, and who else said it? The leading DR they have over here. He's like, well, we can't guarantee that it won't be any more illnesses. We know y'all not gonna guarantee it because y'all putting that stuff out here, allegedly. Y'all be careful. Please follow me on my other platforms. Y'all give me a thumbs up, please. I never asked for these things because I really never cared. But then I heard that they spread the videos and we could spread the message and get the message out here to people, and hopefully people start pulling together and we start helping one another instead of hurting each other. You already got the system against you. We don't need to be against each other, but it's so much of that that plagues these communities, you know. So y'all give me a thumbs up, please. And I'm gonna start going live more. I just been really busy, and please follow me on my other platforms. Follow me on my Patreon for survivalism classes every single week. And I'm also on BitChute. I have another prepper page, a backup channel, because y'all already know how this platform is. And the links will all be in the description. If you're looking for land, I have land for sale. It's on my website. That will also be in the description. If you're looking for bug out areas, I have places to bug out in Texas and also in some parts of Virginia. Some land we're looking into out there. And if you're looking, if you want me to help you find land, then also you can let me know on my website. And it's some other things. Oh, and if you're looking for survivalism gear, radiation suits, potassium iodide tablets, some things that you may need for these things that we're facing these days and times, also on my website. I tell you guys in every video, you don't ever have to get these things from me, but please get this stuff. You know, get these things. We're dealing with some evil people. You don't want something to happen. God forbid, you see a big mushroom smoke and you don't a cloud and you don't have your survivalism gear. You guys watch this world. Watch the weather. Smell your water. Purify your water before you eat it. Purify your water before you use it. And that water smelled foul the other day, that hydrant water. And you guys, be careful of the foods that y'all getting in this market. Be very careful of the foods that you're getting in this market. I'll stay away from the whole chickens and stuff right now. And keep surviving.